Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever the heck time zone you are in. It is Celeste any percent GSA time. It is Fladervy versus Psyched today. And I am Troy of Athens, of course, as you can see there. In the middle between the names Fladervy and Psyched. They have gotten the countdown in the chat, and this should be a good race to have. Fladervy's been looking good lately, but I do have to say that Psyched, despite not having not as good of a record as Fladervy. I know it's kind of hard to have a record as good as someone like Fladervy. Psyched is just very solid of a player. His early chapters are actually really good. It's this summit that he has to get down. So I've seen it. I remember Psyched versus Masushi. He had a game where he was tied with Masushi the whole way pretty much until summit. So it was just really close and just showed that Psyched really has that skill in him. It's just a matter of practicing summit. Singer right now, actually, Fladervy having a bit of trouble right now in the beginning of chapter 1, while Psyched is able to keep on going forward. So Psyched is able to take a lead as Fladervy seems to be shaking off some rust right now. And this is going to be this is going to be a bit of a lead to have to make up. It's it's not every day you see a lead like this build in chapter 1 of all places. We're at like a good 5 seconds. I mean, that death right there from Psyched is definitely going to close it. This has not been a nice chapter to either of these players. It's been fairly messy. But has resulted in Psyched being ahead by about 3 seconds. So that's certainly going to be interesting going into these earlier chapters. 3 seconds, not going to be a huge deal, but it can be certainly impactful, psychologically. Fladervy knowing that he just had a kind of just not the best chapter 1 that he's had before, and so it could just really get into his mind. But I've seen him get out of worse situations. Right now, just going through the battle line chase sequence for both these players. Ooh, slight mess up from Psyched. Able to recover it though. And yeah, no real heavy mistakes from either players, resulting in pretty much the same gap between the two players as it was at the beginning of this chapter. We are very near to the end now. And that mess up by the Psyched just there certainly helped a little. Yeah, they have definitely inched closer. They are very close. It's less than 3 seconds. I'd say it's somewhere around a second. Yeah, about a second of difference now between the two players exiting chapter 2. So those differences have evened out pretty much at this point. and we are looking into the 1 second gap with going into chapter 3 now. And the mid game now, and the mid game now, as it's often called. And Flad taking another death before even entering the lobby of this hotel. Oh, but that death from Psych there. It caused them to seemingly be synced, but the timer desync actually shows that Fladervy is ahead now. So yeah, Fladervy managed to take back the lead right now, just based off of less hesitation, really, is the best way I can. Oh, I didn't even realize Psyched accidentally hit retry instead of skip cutscenes. That is a huge deficit right there now. And that is going to give Fladervy certainly some breathing room. Yeah, it's gonna take a major mistake from Fladervy. Not even that will do much of anything to give back that to close that gap by that much, because that retry in the big mess room, right where they skip right at Oshiro. That is a significant time loss. Fladervy managing to get the corner boost there. And yeah, just flat superior movement right now that he's going through. That is going on flat side. He's just really allowing him to run away with it right now. Coming up to Demo Dash. Of course, we all know the Demo Dash now with the shrinking your hitbox, allowing you to go through a wall. Oh, but Fladervy having a little bit of trouble with it. Getting it on the second try now. Gap is still very large though. It's like having a little bit of trouble on the setup, but eventually is able to get through it. And attempts to go for the task cycle, but fails just a little bit there. That death from Flad. There is a little bit of catch-up happening right now, but it's still not going to be quite enough. They are on the same screen at this point. with a 4-second timer desync. Yeah, Flat out of there at 8:14, while Sykes out at 8:23. About a 10-second gap now. Fladervy taking a bit of a rest now between chapters, so I'll just concentrate on Psych, who has just started up chapter 4. Not quite able to get off of that corner boost. Still will set up very well into that bubble room. No real mistakes happening from either players right now, so the lead is still being maintained by Flad, despite it looking differently. Flad had taken a rest between chapters, where Psych did not, so we are looking at a timer desync this time on the side of like 30 seconds by Flad. 20 seconds, really. Good ultra there. And now they are on the same screen, but Flad is... Or they were on the same screen for a little bit there. Flad being a good 20 seconds ahead, though. Good save there by Psych there. Oh, Fladervy having to do a similar save actually. And now Psych having trouble in the snowball room to the point where RTA wise, Flad has caught up and passed him. Yeah, Flad will be the first one out of the chapter, despite being the second one to start the chapter. Yeah, 10:57 to 11:27 right now. That is a solid 30 seconds. But now we are into chapter 5. This chapter can be very difficult. Not so much this part, but really the 5B is where it can really start to cause some problems and time loss of like up to like 20-30 seconds. Even up to a minute if you have a really unlucky day. Or not unlucky, but just like, you know, a messy day, I guess is the way to put it. Flad successfully getting the yeet. And we got the double yeet. Again, the 109 on Flat side, and the 111 on Sykes. So a very good chapter 5 from both of them, or 5A from both of them. But now we are coming up to Bub's drop. This is not going to be hugely impactful, as even like a couple failures from Flad would still keep him in the lead. It really will be what comes after Bub's drop that's going to really impact the run. And there we see Flad successfully getting the Bub's drop, and so is Sykes. So both first try on that Bub's drop. The leads are going to stay the same, but as said, 5B, the Bub's drop is pretty much just the start of the difficult strategies. After the Bub's drop is where we get really serious here. You get these long screens that aren't too difficult to not mess up, but if you do mess them up, you get a huge punishment. And then we end up on the Seekers rooms, which are just really difficult, actually. And yeah, both of them currently getting strategies left and right. They're just easily passing through so far. And Fladervy easily keeping the lead the same, entering the Theo section. Oh, for a second there, it didn't look like Theo was going to land on the button, but he did. Syke, meanwhile, having a death in the gauntlet. And Fladervy is not able to get the entrance cycle, and is now dealing with the death cycle. He did have a little bit of a late mess up there. So it did actually lose some time to reset. Losing more time than just a death there. It was a very long time before he died on that entrance cycle. Now we're going to be entering Chapter 6 with that, let's see how much it is. 1514, 1442. That is 35? I can do math, come on. Yeah, oh, 32 seconds, so still about the same, actually. And now they're in reflection doing strategies that I am currently trying to implement. And acting like they're no problem at all. When in reality, this chapter is actually really difficult. Psych successfully getting the the top route, and so is Fladervy. Again, no players really making any more mess ups. The gap has just been maintained at this point, as both players are just playing exactly how they need to keep it where it is. And that's a newer strategy from Flad there, only taking one feather. I actually have not seen that strategy before. Ooh, and Flad accidentally retrying before hitting skip cutscene there. It's not quite in the trigger. Luckily that reset is not too far away, so it's not going to cost him a huge amount of time. Well, we have started the battle line fight now. Hey, us. Hey, ya. Hey, ya. It really is just a competition right now to see who can keep the battle line fight going. As RTA-wise, we were looking at the same screens at the same time, but Fladervy actually having a 30-second lead. And there's Fladervy actually in the lead RTA-wise as well. Yeah, significantly in the lead RTA-wise. And so yeah, this is quite the deficit now that Psych would have to make up in Summit. And Flag going to be making it to the top of Chapter 6 at a 20:30. Meanwhile, Psych getting there at 21:11. So 40-second difference now. As we head into Chapter 7. And Flad is breathing just a little bit as he is on the verge of getting another 28 right now. Both players looking good in 500 meters right now. Keeping it composed. Good dream hypers coming out from both sides right now. Fladervy doing very good right now. I don't think I've seen a death from him. Meanwhile, Celeste has a couple under his sleeve. Oof, and Fladervy has now taken the lead RTA-wise as well. This is easily Fladervy's game to win at this point. It's just a matter of seeing what finish times we're going to get right now. As Fladervy is opting not to go for auto-scroller skip and just doing it a slightly slower way, but is definitely still safe. Meanwhile, Psych has decided to opt for the auto-scroller skip, and you can see how much time that just a little bit of time that did save. Yeah, I would explain things for you, Bulba, but it actually seems like that guy got it for you. And yeah, what caused it was a good amount of rest on Flad's end. We're getting a timer sync, it seems, or either that or Psych's actually having some lag. Yeah, there's no real need for a timer sync. Yeah, no need for a timer sync as they are incredibly in different spots at this point. Like, it's not even worth it to do a timer sync. It just seemed to might have been a bit of a streaming problem, I guess. Fladervy entering Summit now at 26:06. It's a very good time. We're still looking at a very good summit, pre 6 minutes right now. We're still, getting sick, hitting flag 26 right at the 6 minute mark. So that is very impressive. And Fladervy now going up on flag number 7 right now. Just a little bit left. Has a very small possibility now, but it's still a possibility to be getting a 28 time right now. Meanwhile, Psych looking at about at 30 something, maybe even 31, high 30 to low 31. And Fladervy completely proving me wrong as he's about to get like a 28.40. Yep, 28.42. 41. That's what I said. And Psyched inching, potentially gonna get a high 29 now. I don't know my predictions of Final 10 flags at all. I am bad at this. But either way, Psyched possibly just barely. Oh no, this is some troubling on the. Yep, trouble on flag 1. So he's going to be finishing at 30.03. And Flat suggesting a little bit of a requesting a little bit of a break between the races right now, so we're gonna be having some fun, just talking about those new sweet emotes we got. Yeah, the awesome emotes we have. I love them. They're really good. They're really useful too. It's the whole reason why I resubbed actually is because of these 3 new emotes. I enjoy them. maybe we can also talk about pace. Why not? I'll talk about pace too, because we got the timing. And so yeah, pace happening in about 2 months. It's gonna be cool. In Laurel, Maryland, at the Xanadu Games place, where a lot of fighting game stuff happens. See stuff like this live. And not like this, because players will probably not be able to go to the bathroom in between races. But it will, they can take breaks, certainly. Finger breaks. Psyched has given a ready signal at this point. We are just waiting on Fladervy to get back from resting. Still just waiting on the runners. I'm just, just chilling, waiting. Maybe I'll upload some Tetris. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that. We are seeing some movement from Vlad's end now. He is, he's back playing the game, but he is doing some movement practice right now, so give him a couple seconds and I'm sure he'll stay ready. Okay, both players have readied up, and the countdown is about to start. Oh, it did start. He counts down from 3. I was not aware of that. I count down from 5 and I restream. And just quick prologue sync, and we are now playing Celeste again. Okay, yeah, both players moved through chapter 1. It is very close. And as I say that, Flat actually has a minor mess up that puts him a little bit behind. Not by much though. We're talking a second difference here. 2-second difference. And the joke's flying in chat. I don't even know what to believe anymore from you guys. It definitely is going to be a continued lead? Lead? Yeah, it's lead. Lead from Psyched. And now in the awake section for both these players. Psyched gonna be the first one to finish with 321, I believe, and that was the 320. Oh no, 325 to 325. You're tied again. Going to chapter 3. Ooh, Flad not getting the lobby quite right, and is now a little bit behind with a death. And just taking a little bit messy here on the lobby right now. Meanwhile, Psyched also playing not quite up to par with the lobby. So it's kind of hard to determine who is ahead. It is looking to be Psyched right now, but we'll definitely see once we enter Big Mess. Psyched entering Big Mess at like 443. Meanwhile, 448 for Fladervy, so that is a 5-second lead for Psyched right now. Psych maintaining this lead right now. And we'll be seeing a skip cutscene from Psyched at 6:23. Psyched is now approaching the demo dash. And oh, we're getting a sync. But it's still good to see this as we get 6:32 on flat side, so that is a 9-second difference. And yet again, not a timer sync, it's just Psyched lagging. Oh, Psyched on and is failing on the demo dash and doing it checkpointless as well. So that is definitely giving Vlad some catch-up opportunity right now. And Psyched failing again on checkpointless. Vlad is going to catch up. And yep, Vlad is now in the lead. Psyched getting it on the 3rd try, but is checkpointless. But it was a 3rd try checkpointless. So that was quite a time loss. And yes, Fladervy is going to keep that lead, getting out of there under 8 minutes. Going to be 7:56 right now, 4:28 on that chapter timer, and Psyched at an 8:12, 4:44 on the chapter timer. So now about a 20-second lead now, going to chapter 4. And successfully getting the corner boost. But Psycked's able to get it as well. Oh, and Fladervy tried to go for blockless. It nearly worked out for him too. He was just a little bit short. But he goes into... He fails it and ends up having to do the Ultra Dash strategy. Or ends up trying for the Ultra Dash strategy on the 2nd try instead of attempting another blockless. And now on the cliff face section. Another save on the Fladervy's end there. on that screen. That the screen has been devious, trying to trip up our plays, but both players continuously not dying on that screen. We're at 10:41 exiting chapter 4. And having one death. And having one death that is only from the attempted blocklist strategy. Looking about a 30-second lead right now. As we are approaching the yeet. Another successful yeet. Now it's Psych's turn. Oh, didn't quite get it. He was so close. Okay, so we're taking another small rest between 5A and 5B. While Psych's just gonna go right into it. This is some really good pace coming on from Fladervy right now. Successful bubs drop on Fladervy's side. Oh, and failing on Psyched. For Psych there. Oh, he's going to have to restart that area. And failing at a second try as well. This is a very large lead for Fladervy at this point. And now a third try on, and now Psych now currently on his 4th attempt on bubs drop. Is able to get on the 4th try. Not something you want to be seeing though. And I'm just watching Flat at this point because he is on a rampage right now. Getting a backup there, not quite dashing into the button, but then realized the Seeker was going to hit it, so got out of the way and the Seeker hit it instead. and able to get the entrance strategy on the final room. Fladervy going into leg skip pre 15 minutes right now. This is crazy. And yes, like very behind right now as Fladervy, along with just being so just playing better while Psyched is having a messy gameplay. Fladervy's just also playing just like very strongly right now. Has his game on a chokehold, it seems. Psyched's gonna be messing up leg skip as well. Managing to get it eventually, but it's still not looking good as he continues to mess up strategies that are gonna cost him some time. Certainly cost him that time. And now, Fladervy onto the shortcuts, successfully getting through there. And moving on to the battle line boost. We're still at 17 minutes. Right now I'm just watching Fladervy playing very composed, very pretty much just in the zone, as much in the zone as you can get. Ooh, messing up the featherless strategy, going for it the second time, is able to get it. Able to get the featherless strategy there, but is messing up a little bit on the end. Second try on that featherless though. Not the cleanest room. Not the cleanest battle line fight that I've seen. Still really good pace. Psych, meanwhile, moving through, about to go enter onto the Feathers strategy. Featherless words. And oh my god, that is that's a 2009 exit. And Flad looking at a low 28 right now. Possibility of a low 28. Meanwhile, Psych exiting Chapter 6 at 21:53. It is a almost 2-minute difference now. So this is just going to be watching Flad seeing this possibility of a low 28 time. Well, Psych is shooting for a 30, maybe a 29. It can't world record. World record would require him to enter. Yeah, it's not PB pace. It's not world record pace. But it's still a very good time. World record pace would require he pretty much were to enter Summit under 20 minutes. Because you got to remember that the Summit takes about 8 minutes at the top level. So if you, in order to get a 27 time, you need to be at 19 minutes. Math. Fladervy entering 2,000 meters now, while Psyched is towards the end of 1,000 meters, but also with a 30-second deficit right now, timer deficit. And Fladervy successfully getting the auto-scroller skip. I'm just seeing what he's going to be getting. He's at 2,500 meters at 24:40. Going for corner boosts as well. Fladervy, stop. Okay, having a little bit of trouble on that screen. Able to recover. Ooh, slight mess up at the beginning of this final 2,500 meter screen. And here I thought Flad was going to be easily under 26 minutes right now, entering into entering the 3,000 meters, but here he is just barely under it now. 25.54. Oop. Fladervy still getting these small hiccups right now. And good save there. Still a bit annoying as he did have to get flag 18 in order to survive. But it just, you know, able to adapt and get it. Get that flag 18 anyway. Meanwhile, Psych just about to enter 3,000 meters. Entering at 27.54. So pretty much exactly 2-minute difference now. Fladervy now, he is at 27.50 at flag number 5. He could PB here. I believe he can PV. I'm not sure actually. Nope, no, he can't. Definitely can't. It's 2811 is his PV. Just passing it just there. And Flad getting a 2844. And it looks like Fladervy actually having some weather troubles right now. Requesting a match reschedule across. We'll see how Julian is Psyched is feeling about it. He still needs to finish the second race here. Currently at flag number 6 at 2950, 48. Alright, yeah, the 2807 PB that Flad has. Flad not getting flag number 2. And that's a 30-34 on Psych side. So we will now have a bit of discussion with the players. Okay, yeah, so we are gonna go, we're just gonna go. Fladervy just having a bit of weather troubles. There's a thunderstorm nearby him, so he is not, wanting to start the third race. So both players agreeing to the reschedule. So we're gonna cut a bit early today for Celeste. Gonna be moving on to Battle for Bikini Bottom in about an hour. So stick around for that.